Salute squad. We're gonna step back in the courtroom. We're actually gonna back it up a little bit, and I'm gonna take us back to day 13, the trial date, the Young Thug YSL RICO trial. Stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, good morning. Good morning. All right, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, we're going to go ahead and continue with the presentation of the state's case. So, call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Officer Curtin Raymond to the stand.
All right. Officer Raymond, is that his last name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Officer Raymond, good morning, sir. Sir, if you could please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind and turn and face Sergeant Ingram, you're sworn as a witness before you sit down, please.
Raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony given in the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Have seat. Speak.
Sorry. I'm Officer Curtin Raymond, KIRTON
Good morning, Officer Raymond. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir.
Can you please tell the jury where you are before that?
City of Atlanta Police Department. Copper Homes, Copper School area.
And when you first started, what beat or zone did you work for?
I was still in Zone 3. I worked beat 313, which was the south side of Jonesboro Road.
Understood. And so, have you been, while working in these beats and zones, are you a patrol officer?
Yes, I'm a patrol officer. On a regular day, I get a wide array of calls from stolen vehicles, fight calls. It's a wide array. On a usual day, you could get from criminal trespass to somebody in an accident report, all that different stuff.
And are you post-certified now, Officer Raymond?
Yes, sir, I am.
And were you post-certified in September of 2019?
Yes, sir, I was.
Can you turn your attention to September 25th, 2019? Were you working that day?
Yes, I was working.
And back in September of 2019, what beat were you working?
035, you pull that in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I was working beat 313.
And what shift were you working back then?
Evening shift, which is from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
And did you have, how did you get involved in this incident?
The call came up, Officer Cogdell. He tried to perform a traffic stop on the red.
What's the basis, Mr. Botts? I'm sorry?
You said he was reported to him. He has no basis.
I'll overrule your objection. All right.
You may answer, Officer.
Yes, so Officer Cogdell tried to perform a traffic stop on the vehicle. It fled from him. And then he put over the radio that the vehicle pretty much crashed out right at the intersection of Cleveland Avenue and the 75 ramp.
Now, when you first heard this come over dispatch, where were you located at?
I was on my beat in 313 speed. I was all the way down by Jonesboro Road, right around the 285 junction.
And how long did it take you roughly to get to that location?
Approximately about 8 to 10 minutes, sir.
And when you got there, what did you see?
When I got there, I saw a white Ford Fusion, airbags deployed. It was in the middle of the intersection. And there was also a red Nissan Sentra with a Florida tag. It was on the right side of Cleveland Avenue.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
You may, sir.
I'm handing the witness what's been marked as States 25 Quebec. Officer Raymond, what is that?
That's the accident that happened when Officer Cogdell was chasing the vehicle. That's the white Ford Fusion with the airbags deployed.
And how do you recognize it?
I did an accident report on that vehicle.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the scene this day?
Oh, yes, sir, it was. The only thing that's literally missing is just the red Nissan Sentra, and I think it should be on the right side. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit State's Exhibit 25 Quebec into evidence.
Any objection, States 25, Quebec? Hearing none, 25 Quebec is admitted and may be published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's going to publish State's 25 Quebec. And Officer Raymond, is this the scene that you depicted or have you described when you got to this location?
Oh, yes, sir, it is.
And with the white Ford Fusion, where was the damage located on that vehicle?
The damage was on the left side, the driver's side. Yeah, yeah.
And can you describe what is this intersection that we're looking at in State 25 Quebec? What are the roadways?
So it's going to be right at the intersection of Cleveland Avenue, and it's going to be the 75 ramp.
And when did you ever interact with any occupants of the white Ford Fusion?
Yeah, Mr. Montgomery, he was laying on the floor. I believe Grady Unit was rendering aid to him. He was laying on the right side, if I remember correctly. He was laying on the right side, and they would try to make sure he was okay after the accident.
Understood. Your Honor, permission to approach?
You may, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm handing the witness what's been marked as States 26 Quebec. Officer Raymond, what did I just hand you?
Oh, that's Mr. Montgomery. Right after the accident, like I said, he got out of the vehicle and he laid down, and we were just trying to make sure he was okay. Well, the other officers in the greater unit on scene.
And how were you able to recognize it? As in, how are you able to know what's depicted in States 26 Quebec?
Because I recognized him because I did the report for him. I interacted with him that day.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of Mr. Montgomery that day?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit States Exhibit 26 Quebec into evidence.
Any objection? Other than what's been noted already? Okay, all right. 26 Quebec is admitted. And the
Thank
court
you, Your
will
Honor.
note the continuing objection.
Publishing States Exhibit 26 Quebec. Officer Raymond, who is this gentleman depicted on this exhibit?
This is Mr. Montgomery, sir.
And when you get to a scene, you process an accident report. Can you kind of describe to the jury what you do, what information you get?
So when you're doing an accident report, you want to get both drivers if possible, get the tags of both vehicles. You want to assess the damage and where the damage is exactly on both vehicles, kind of to investigate, see who's at fault, how the accident happened. Also, you want to run the vehicles, see who the owner belongs to, see who the vehicle belongs to, see if there's valid insurance and stuff like that.
And were you able to run any information related to the red Nissan?
Oh yes, I was able to run. It was a Florida tag, but I was able to run the tag on our system, and it came back to Hertz Rental.
And what state were the plates on that red Nissan?
It was a Florida tag.
And when you respond to a traffic accident, do you ever depict like how the accident looked for the record?
Yes, you do. It's mainly for the insurance companies. You pretty much want to paint a mental picture or a good picture for them about what happened in an accident. So usually on our programs, one of the tools that we use is a picture that we actually draw out in the accidents to, again, just to show the insurance companies who's at fault and where exactly the damage was and what exactly happened.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm handing the witness what's been marked as States Exhibit 27 Quebec. Officer Raymond, what is States Exhibit 27 Quebec?
That's the diagram from the accident report that I did.
And how do you recognize it?
It depicts what happened that day.
Is it a very accurate depiction of the traffic report that you created?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit States Exhibit 27 Quebec into the record.
Any objection, States 27 Quebec? Hearing none, it is admitted and may be published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Publishing States Exhibit 27, Quebec. So, Officer Raymond, when you review traffic reports, how do you name or classify the vehicles involved? Is it numbers or letters, or how do you do that?
In the accident report, there are different units based on the vehicle. So, for instance, if there's 2 vehicles, it's going to be Unit 1, Unit 2, and so on. So, Unit 1 is the vehicle that's going to be at fault. Unit 2 is the vehicle that's not at fault.
And in this exhibit, what vehicles is Unit 1?
Unit 1 is going to be the vehicle traveling on Cleveland Avenue, and Unit 2, well, let me elaborate. Unit 1 is going to be the Ford Fusion. No, I'm sorry, my mistake. Unit 1 is going to be the Ford Fusion. Unit 2, no. I'm sorry. Unit 1 is going to be the Nissan Sentra because it ran the light and it T-boned unit number 2.
And the roadway going vertical on this exhibit,
Yes, sir.
what road is that?
That's Cleveland Avenue.
And is the horizontal one, what road is that?
That's the 75 ramp.
And so in this State Exhibit 27, vehicle that's horizontal is which car again?
The vehicle that's horizontal going is going to be unit number 2.
And after obtaining this information, did you have any further involvement with this case?
No, all I did was just the accident report.
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And Officer Raymond, what vehicle was, or what type of vehicle was the Nissan?
It was the vehicle at fault.
And what was the, do you remember the make and model of it?
Yeah, it was the vehicle at fault was a red Nissan Sentra.
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want. You can have really
Your Honor, I'm going to grab what's been previously admitted as States Exhibit 22, Quebec. Your Honor, I'm going to hand the witness what's been previously admitted as States Exhibit 3Q and published States Exhibit 3Q. Officer Raymond, do you recognize the vehicle in States Exhibit 3Q?
Yes, I do.
Got 23Q?
3Q, Your Honor.
You got 23Q up. There you go. Okay.
And was that the vehicle that was Unit 1 in your report?
Yes, sir, that was the vehicle.
Thank you, Officer Raymond. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross.
Officer Raymond,
Yes, sir.
in police vernacular, this is called a reported accident, is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that means that you weren't a witness to anything
No, I wasn't, sir.
other than you arrived on the scene. And part of your duty, as you said, is to make out a report for insurance purposes.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you put in your actual report itself for insurance purposes. It was filled out.
Yes, sir.
So when you testified earlier that somebody ran a red light, somebody was at fault, you don't know who ran a red light, correct?
Well, I wasn't there personally, but
Right. And in these type accidents.
Finish.
Well, I'm afraid he may get into hearsay, Your Honor. I'm asking.
He was about to say something when you cut him off.
All right. Yes, sir.
Were you? I mean, if you want to complete your statement, you can.
Thank you.
Fine.
I wasn't there personally, but again, we had multiple officers there who gave a statement
Your Honor,
about what happened.
All right. You can testify to what you saw and what you, okay?
That's what I was asking. All right. So a lot of times in these type reports, you have one person saying one thing and one person saying another, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you don't have a way of telling who actually ran a red light or who didn't.
But based on the damage, also you could put that into evaluation when you.
All right. And we saw a picture of your diagram, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it showed a T-bone.
Yes, sir.
But looking at that, you can't tell whether somebody pulled out in front of somebody or whether somebody ran into somebody that was already into the intersection, can you? In other words, you can't tell by looking at your diagram who was at fault.
You can't tell, no.
Right, you can't.
No.
Okay. And other than anything else here today, basically, it's still a reported accident. You don't know who's at fault, who did what, other than you arrived on the scene and filled out what you were supposed to do.
So when we're doing a police report, we analyze everything, we investigate everything, and one of the main things that me personally as an officer, I look at the damages, the position of the damages,
Yes.
and a lot of times it could tell you based on the damages and where the angle is, what happened.
And there are a lot of things you can look at and all that, but basically it's still something that you didn't witness.
Right.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. State anything further?
Very briefly, Ron. Officer Raymond, before creating that diagram, did you or did you not gather any information to create it?
Yes, so I gathered information from, again, Officer Cogdell, who was the primary unit, pretty much who, again, he initiated the traffic stop, and he literally was a couple of feet behind the vehicle when it happened.
I'm sorry?
Getting into hearsay again.
Why don't you all come up, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Raymond, after you respond and investigate traffic accidents, is the diagram something you do at the end of your investigation or the beginning?
No, you do the diagram. Everything you do pertains to an accident report, you do it at the end. Again, you investigate. I investigate. I see what the damages are. I speak to the drivers on scene, and then from there, based on what they say, I go ahead and do the report, including the diagram.
Thank you, Officer Raymond. Your Honor, no further question or no redirect by the state.
Anything further, Mr. Bonds? All right. May Officer Raymond be permanently or temporarily excused as a witness?
Your Honor, permanently excused.
Okay, Officer Raymond, thank you for your patience with us. I'm going to permanently excuse you as a witness, so you're free to go about your usual duties and avocation. Just don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
I've been using Epidemic Sound as my go-to resource for background music and sound effects for the last 6 years since I grew my YouTube channel from
All right, call your next witness.
Your Honor, clearly tendering some documents. It's all authenticated documents for state reliable.
You have to speak up. You have to speak up. We couldn't hear you at all. You kind of trailed off. All right, so
Your Honor, this time the state will be tendering certified copies of conviction self-authenticating documents of Mr. Shannon Stillwell.
I'm with Steve. Yeah, we're gonna do it right now.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Owen, you make it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to tender a few exhibits related to Act 98. First, Your Honor, the state would like to tender State's Exhibit 30Q pursuant to OCGA 901. This is a certified copy of conviction of Mr. Shannon Bernard Jackson under indictment 19 SC 173371, where Mr. Jackson pled guilty to the lesser included fleeing and attempting to elude a police officer. He pled to hit and run, obstruction of law enforcement officer, expired or no license on person.
Sir,
Your
I'll note your objection and notice your continuing objection, and I'll overrule it, okay?
and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He pled to this indictment on January 21st, 2020, where he received a...
Your Honor, objection, sentence.
Okay.
You have to speak up, sir.
You're right.
The sentence is relevant and it's not necessary for part of the certified disposition.
You're right, and we can withdraw that portion of it.
I'll sustain the objection, sir.
And your-
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I said, didn't hear your question, Your
That
Honor.
was states what? I'm sorry.
30Q, Your Honor.
All right, states 32Q is admitted, and the court will note the objection, continued objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. And as it results to Act 98 and Act 55, within count 1, where Mr. Stillwell is charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the basis of those of that act is also followed by what the state is going to tender as State's Exhibit 33Q. 31Q.
Your Honor, we ask for continued objection.
Granted, sir, and but I'm gonna overrule your objection as to this. I'm gonna overrule your objection as to admissibility now.
Which is indictment 10 SC 87662, where this is for Mr. Shannon Stillwell, also known as Shannon Jackson, where he pled guilty to participation in criminal street gang activity, guilty to burglary, and guilty to criminal damage to property in the second degree. And he pled in September 19th, 2013. Also as a basis is State's Exhibit 32Q, which is...
Your Honor, and question.
Granted, and I'll overrule the objection.
under indictment 11 SC 98860, where he pled guilty to burglary on June 2nd, 2011. Next, we have State's Exhibit 33Q, which is certified copy of conviction for Shannon Stillwell in case number 13SC 121320, where he pled guilty to possession of marijuana.
Granted, sir. I will read objection. That's his admissibility.
With intent to distribute. And then you're also a basis we're going to, what has already been admitted, which was State's Exhibit 60G, which is a certified copy of conviction on 15 SC 140132.
Your Honor, I believe this is already admitted.
60G's already been admitted.
And I'm just noting again that that was the basis, Your Honor.
That's argument.
It's already been admitted.
Argument. Okay, so. Argument.
Okay. And that concludes the state's presentation of Act 98, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Trontavious Stevens.
All right, summon Mr. Trontavious Stevens, please. All right, Mr. Stevens, good morning, sir. Sir, if you could please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you would turn and face our name and be sworn as a witness before you sit down, sir.
You raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony you give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
State and spell your first and last name for the court.
Trontavious Stevens, Trontavious Stephens.
Good morning, Mr. Stevens.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Mr. Stevens, would you please tell the jury how old you are?
I'm 30 years old.
And did you grow up here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to South Atlanta High School.
And when you were growing up, what part of Atlanta did you live in?
Off Cleveland Avenue.
How long did you stay off Cleveland Avenue?
That's my only address.
Okay. So you still live there?
Yes.
And did you grow up with siblings in your home?
Yes, I had 2 older brothers.
So are you the youngest of all of your
Yes.
siblings? While you were in high school, would you tell the jury whether you participated in any extracurricular activities or anything of that nature?
No, I didn't.
You didn't play football?
No.
And as a kid or as a teenager, did you have any desire to be anything in particular when you grew up?
Yes, I always wanted to be a chef.
You wanted to be a chef?
Yes.
Did you ever pursue that dream?
No.
Now, did you finish high school? You said you went to South Atlanta High School?
No, I didn't finish high school.
What grade did you finish?
10th.
Now, why did you leave high school when you did?
Bad grades, and I was expelled. Too.
Do you remember why you were expelled?
Fighting and lack of attendance.
Did you go on to get your GED?
I actually had one more course to pass, and that's math.
All right. And are you still working on that?
Yes.
Do you work now?
Yes.
What type of work do you do?
Traffic control, and I'm in school where I recently graduated. I got my CDL license.
All right. So are you using your CDL license as well?
So I passed my test Friday. This was supposed to be my week to go look for work, but I'm here.
But you're here. All right. We appreciate you being here. Now, when you first finished school, or when you first left school, high school that is, What did you do every day after you left high school?
It's a broad question, Your Honor.
I'll sustain it as to being overbroad. Why don't you just rephrase it, please?
Yes, Your Honor. When you left high school, did you start working anywhere?
No.
Did you stay at home and take care of family members?
I had 2 kids at the time, but no, I didn't stay at home.
Did you have any way to make money during that time?
No.
Did you make any money during that time after you graduated from high school?
I never graduated from high school.
I'm sorry, you're right. Forgive me and thank you for that correction. After you left high school, did you make money at some point before you started what you're currently working towards?
No. I basically was trying to find my adult self.
Now, you said you did not make any money. Is that legally you didn't make any money, or you didn't make any money in any way whatsoever?
I didn't make any money.
Were there any particular people that you found your core group of friends while you were in high school?
People that I grew up with from my neighborhood.
All right. And when you left high school, are these the same people that you continue to associate with?
Yes, for the most part.
And as a general matter, when you first left high school, would you tell the jury, if you can recall, what types of things that you did outside of school and outside of your home, if anything at all, with this group of friends?
We often hung at the neighborhood park.
What was the name of that park?
Cleveland Avenue Park.
Cleveland Avenue Park. Where exactly is Cleveland Avenue Park located?
On Cleveland Avenue.
Where on Cleveland Avenue? Give us any other reference that you can think of.
So it's connected to Cleveland Avenue Elementary School.
Is there any other name that you have used or that your friends have used to refer to Cleveland Avenue Park?
Yes.
Would you tell the jury what that is?
The park.
Have you ever called it Cleveland Avenue Park?
The park?
Have you ever called Cleveland Avenue Park Cleveland Avenue Park?
No, I just said the park.
While you were a teenager and a young adult, did you ever get involved in any games?
Yes.
Tell the jury, if you were, the first game that you got involved with.
First game that I was involved with was Rock Crew.
Now, would you tell the jury what, and for the court reporter's sake, would you spell rock?
ROC. CREW.
Thank you. And what does ROC stand for?
Raised on Cleveland.
Now, were you the only member of ROC Crew, or were there other members of ROC Crew besides yourself?
Yes.
Yes, there were other members.
Yes.
Do you know about how many people were members of ROC Crew when you first joined?
No.
Were there more than 3?
Yes.
Around what time in your life did you join ROC Crew? How old were you?
You want to grab one from the MP?
I'm not sure what that was, Jeffery. It was not the witness.
I don't know what it was either.
Tell the jury, would you like for us to hold on?
Bitch, hold on 1 second. Okay, all right. There's Lynch getting on Zoom. Lynch. We good? Okay, all right.
Hold on a second.
Huh?
Caps, hold on a second.
She's gonna take it off. Okay, all right. Huh? Yeah, we can just, hey, Wes, just go ahead and disconnect them. Just disconnect them. All right, we're good. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
About how old were you when you first joined Rock Crew?
I don't call it at that age, probably 15, 14.
14 or 15?
Yeah.
And who was it, if anybody at all, that first introduced you to Rock Crew?
So, that person is deceased, and per the family wishes, I mean, they was like, can I not speak on the deceased?
I understand. I appreciate that. And how about this? Without giving their full legal name, are you able to tell the jury the nickname?
Yes.
Would you tell the jury the nickname of the person?
His name is Boo.
Spell that for the court.
Boo, B-O-O.
Now, how old was Boo when he introduced you to Rock Crew?
I really don't know his age now.
Fair enough. Was he older than you, around your same age?
Yes, he's older.
So was he your friend or friends of any particular members of your family? Like, when you first were introduced to Rock Crew through him, did you know him personally? Or were you introduced to him through someone?
I'm trying to recall, it's been so long ago, trying to remember how I actually met him. So yeah, it had to be like me knowing someone he knew.
Okay. Did Rock Crew have any particular way that they identified themselves, or that you all identified yourselves? Like, did you make yourselves known to the community that you were Rock Crew?
It really didn't have to, because all of us was raised on Cleveland, and that's what it stood for, raised on Cleveland.
Did you all do some things that were not as Rock Crew?
Did you all do some things that was not legal as a Rock Crew? So it was alleged that Rock Crew committed the crimes in the neighborhood. Myself personally, I had a criminal record at the time. So yes, because I was a Rock Crew and I had a criminal record, so yes.
Now I'm asking a specific question now, okay? Did you and other members of Rock Crew ever commit any crimes together?
No.
Never?
No.
All right. And are you aware of other members of Rock Crew committing crimes?
I'm aware that allegedly they was committing crimes. Everyone had a record at the time. Well, like some of us had a record at the time.
Members of Rock Crew
Yes.
had records.
Yes.
And did they have those records and get those records while they were operating as Rock Crew?
Yes, people caught cases as when it was Rock Crew.
What kind of cases did they catch as Rock Crew?
So, my childhood friend, he had a burglary.
What was the name of your childhood friend?
Jason Scott.
Basis.
Relevance, we're not talking about crimes, we're talking about charges.
Your Honor.
You don't come on up, please.
I didn't hear what Yeah. I can't hear you when you talk.
Judge. When you get to the conference.
Oh, let them know that.
Well, yeah, I'll tell them.
Can I maybe write it down and answer?
Write what down?
The question I have for my
Right,
opinion.
I don't know who's speaking right
I
now.
don't know if she can answer. Let me find out.
Don't worry about it.
I got you.
No. A little. Yes.
So the question is going to be answered by the time that they can. So they're going to answer. I was just going to do something about my time.
You can't do it right now.
Okay, no problem.
So you don't get it.
No, okay.
Got this.
Would you tell the jury the names of some of your accomplices who were members of Rock Crew? Some of the people who were members of Rock Crew at the time that you were a member of Rock Crew?
Tell you some of the names that was. So, of course, my brothers,
What were your brother's names?
But Demario,
First and last name?
Demario Stevens, DeMartinez Stevens.
Okay. And were they members of Rock Crew before you were a member of Rock Crew?
So we actually all just at the same time.
Joined Rock Crew at the same time?
Yes.
All right. Would you tell the jury other members of Rock Crew?
So, like I was saying, my childhood friend Jason, he was a member.
Jason, what was that last name?
Scott.
All right. What were the other, and let me back up just a bit if you don't mind. I know that you've given your friend's family assurances that you won't be speaking on him, but in order to establish certain facts for the jury, I'm going to have to speak on
Objection, these are not questions, Your Honor.
and ask you questions.
Well, I don't know who objection. Wait a second. Did you mind finish talking? Yes. Just wait 5 minutes, okay? Based upon our bench conference, or based upon that, I'm gonna sustain the objection, okay?
Sustain, Your Honor?
Sustain. So,
Don't want me to ask you that?
no, I'm overruling the objection. Okay, so. Mr. Stevens, you're gonna have to answer the questions, okay? All right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stevens, Booth, was that person's name Quentin Porter?
Yes.
And was that person the person who founded Rock Crew?
I'm not sure. They was all older guys, so I don't know who found it.
Was he considered a leader of Rock Crew during the time that you were a member of Rock Crew?
So it really wasn't no formal like leader. It was older guys. So if you want to say that he was one of the older guys, yes, he was one of the older guys.
Was he able to tell you or younger guys what to do as Rock Crew?
No, no one gave me any orders.
What kinds of things did you and other members of Rock Crew do on a daily basis together?
Like I said, we often hung at Cleveland Avenue Park. That was like the hangout. We shot basketball, gambled on basketball, jump shots. We shot dice. We smoked weed, drunk liquor. We clubbed. Yeah, those
You
things.
all sell drugs?
Not at the time, I wasn't selling drugs.
When you say at the time, what time is it that you're referring to?
Because I was initially arrested in 2015 for possession of marijuana. That's when I was selling drugs.
Other members of Rock Crew, did other members of Rock Crew, to your knowledge, engage in selling drugs?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, it was a person you can purchase marijuana from at the park for like recreational use, but right.
Was that person a Rock Crew member?
Nah.
No?
I mean,
Your Honor, you need to explain. Go ahead, please.
yeah. So, we was young. We didn't know where to get no marijuana from, so guys would come to the park knowing that we wanted to smoke weed. So those guys weren't like Rock Crew or like hanging with us on a daily basis. They were just older guys trying to make some money off the young guys.
Mr. Stevens, before today, did I or any other member of the DA's office attempt to speak with you and just discuss with you what questions we'd ask of you or things of that nature?
So, yes, but no one explained to me the second part that you said. It was just meet somewhere, and I was trying to ask my lawyer to understand what was this meeting pertaining to.
And you're saying that no one, not even myself, prior to you coming in here today, ever told you We just want to talk with you about the questions we're going to ask you?
Oh, yes, ma'am, you told me that yesterday.
Okay. Did you agree to talk with me yesterday?
No, ma'am, my lawyer wasn't present.
Do you know or recognize Mr. Brian Steele when you see him?
Yes.
You see him in the courtroom?
Yes.
Where is he?
To the left of me, in front of me.
All right. Is he seated next to, who is to his right?
Jeffery Williams.
All right. And do you know Mr. Keith Adams when you see him?
I got familiar with his name yesterday, but yeah, I see him.
You did talk to them yesterday, though?
Yes.
How long did you talk to them?
Roughly, no more than 10, 13 minutes.
Is your testimony that you spoke with them for 10 or 13 minutes?
Yes.
That's all?
Yes.
Did you agree to speak with me for 10 to 13 minutes?
No, not without my lawyer present.
Why were you willing to speak with Jeffery Williams' lawyers for 10 to 13 minutes, but not me?
I never declined speaking with you. I told you that my lawyer wasn't present.
Did I ask you, or were you speaking to your lawyer on the phone when I was asking to speak with you?
Yes.
And did I ask you to have your lawyer on the phone while we were speaking?
No.
I didn't ask you that.
No.
Did I ask, go ahead.
You told me that you was going to go over the indictment with me. I mean, the plea agreement with me. You never said that you can keep her on the phone while we talk.
And is it your testimony that you were never told or asked to three-way or conference call your lawyer while we spoke with you? Is that your testimony today?
That you told me that yesterday?
That you were never told by me or Investigator Randolph or anyone that you were able to and could three-way or conference call or even Zoom your lawyer while you were speaking with us?
So my lawyer was telling me that she was not going to be able to be with me because she was out of town with her family and that she could sit in with Zoom.
Your lawyer told you that she could sit in with you.
Yes.
And did you ever agree to sit in on a Zoom call and talk to us with your lawyer via Zoom?
So, like I was explaining to my lawyer, the time that she was telling me, I actually broke down on the side of the highway. I was on the phone with her all night. I had me and my son in the car, and I was telling her that getting me and my son home safely was like the most important thing that I was trying to figure out at the time.
Mr. Stevens, during that time that you're referring to, were you not at a football game or a game with your son?
So I said the initial night, she told me that night. She first told me about it at nighttime when she called my phone.
Again, so why is it that you were willing to speak with Jeffery Williams' lawyers and not me? Objection has to. It was not asked.
I'll overrule the objection. Can I make an objection to make certain after mischaracterizing the response from the witness? No stage. I want to speak with objection. I'll overrule the objection.
Why were you willing to speak with Jeffery Williams' lawyers and not me?
I never declined speaking with you. I told you that my lawyer wasn't present when you asked me.
Your testimony today is that you never declined to speak with me.
Stating I stand.
Are you telling the jury that you never declined to speak with me?
I'm a standing objection.
Do you have a tattoo behind your ear that says 75K over 18?
Yes.
What does that tattoo stand for?
It was basically manifesting that I reach a certain amount of money before I turn 18.
Did you ever tell anyone in the district attorney's office that it was in fact because you did have a certain amount of money when you turned 18?
I don't recall.
So do you recall whether you in fact had $75,000 at the time you were 18?
I never had 75,000 at the time of 18.
And you don't recall, is it your testimony, you just don't remember whether you ever told anybody in the DA's office? That's what that 75 or 18 case stood for.
One at a time, please, okay? Mr. Sharp, what's your objection? Overruled. Next person. Ms. Westmoreland.
Same objection.
Overruled.
Thank you. And so you have no memory of ever telling someone in the district attorney's office that $75K over 18 was a tattoo that you got because you had $75,000 when you were 18 years old.
Object to the form of the question and the ask and answer.
Overruled, Mr. Harvey. Overruled, Mr. Harvey.
For the objection of Vegas, who and what time, I believe, are the predicates to answer that type of question. I object.
So noted, sir. You can rephrase it, ma'am. One of us is saying the last objection.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Steele, you are going to have to oppose it.
Have you ever told an investigator Belknap that the $75K over 18 was because you got that tattoo because you had $75,000 by the time you were 18 years old?
So I don't recall. I started getting in trouble when I was 11 years old, so that was roughly 14, 15 years ago. I don't recall.
What things did you talk about with Mr. Adams and Mr. Steele yesterday?
What did he say? Mr. Adams asked me, where was Chrissy? Mr. Steele was explaining to me that it's a chance that I probably won't take the stand today, so having you sit out here from 8:30 to 5:30 is like not good because I got a job, and I was trying to make it work.
And did you all speak at all about what questions you might be asked on the stand?
So he showed me some images.
The question I'm asking you is, did you all talk at all about the questions that you might be asked on the stand?
If I'm not like wording his exact words, he said these images may be shown to you tomorrow.
Mr. Stevens, I appreciate that part. I'm asking you specifically, did you, Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, talk at all about the questions that you might be asked on the stand? First of all, how about this? Could you answer either in the affirmative or in the negative, either yes or no, and then give your explanation? Could you do that for us, please?
Yes.
So did you, Mr. Adams and Mr. Steele, talk at all about the questions that you might be asked while you were on the stand?
Yes, Mr. Steele showed me some images, and he said that you may be asked about these images.
And is that the only thing you all discussed when it came to questions you might be asked on the stand?
Yes.
Now, did anyone at any time, tell you how you might want to answer anything of that nature?
No.
And when you were shown the pictures that may be shown to you while you were on the stand, what was the conversation around those pictures?
So Chrissy was sitting right next to me. She's my attorney.
Okay. Christy, Ms. Glad.
Miss Glad, I'm
Is she in
sorry.
the courtroom today?
Yes.
Is she sitting somewhere back there waving at you right now?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So Miss Gladden told Mr. Steele that she has that file and she would pull it up for me, and that was the end.
Were there any more communications, any other conversations about the pictures you might be shown or any other questions that might be asked?
I'm going to see if you're gonna be called and try to get your excuse for it.
Anything else?
No.
Other than Mr. Porter and your two brothers, would you please tell the jury, and Mr. Scott, please tell the jury other members of Rock Crew who were members during the time that you were a member?
So you want me to name everyone that I grew up with, basically?
I would like for you to name for the jury other people who were members of Rock Crew during the time that you were a member.
I mean, are you gonna tell me to stop, or is there a certain amount of people you need me to name or anything?
Would you please just name some of them?
Just some of them?
Just name some people. All of the ones you remember who were members of Rock Crew.
Everyone?
Mr. Stevens, would you please name the members of Rock Crew who were members while you were a member?
I probably wouldn't even be able to name everyone.
Name the ones you can name.
So, again, I probably won't be able to name everyone first and last name. So I got my next door neighbor, we grew up together. His name's Marvin.
I need you to just name the members of Rock Crew. Not friends, not people you grew up with necessarily, just, if you would just give the names of the people who were members.
If you could wait and adjust the sheet. I can give you all that list.
Okay, so the prosecutor asked a question and interrupted the witness.
Just let him finish and then you can approach his question, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm asking to make certain that that the answer is responsive. I'm asking for members of Rock Crew, and because he's referencing certain things.
Yes,
Okay.
So I'm asking to make sure that we're clear.
I understand, ma'am.
Would you name for the jury members of Rock Crew who were members of Rock Crew while you were a member?
Yes, so I started referencing certain things because that was.
I'm sorry. I need you to be responsive, and I need you can explain afterwards.
Okay.
You just name the people.
That's the thing. I'm trying to use my memory of what people stayed at on my street to help me help you, basically.
I appreciate you. But let me start by asking you this. Do you remember the people who were members of Rock Crew while you were a member of Rock Crew?
I mean, that was 10, 11 years ago.
You're not answering my question.
I can try.
I'm asking you if you remember the names of the people.
Not by heart, man.
You don't remember any of them?
Yes, I'm trying to, I almost can't remember. Like I said, I stayed in the same house for 30 years. So I can almost remember where everyone stayed at, and I'm trying to put the house with the name. So that's why I started with my neighbor. And that's the direction I was headed in. All right. So,
Marvin, what's your name?
yeah.
Who else?
There was another Jason. So I'm just basically going up and down the street because all us raised on the street, that's off Cleveland Avenue, so that's what made us Rock Crew. So, of course, Quentin, his little brothers, he had two younger brothers. This gonna be hard.
Are those the only people you remember?
They're straight off top.
Did you ever talk with the members of Rock Crew about things that you all did that were not exactly legal?
I don't recall. Can you I don't understand the question. Can you say it again?
Did you ever talk with members of Rock Crew about the things that you did, you and other members of Rock Crew, that were not exactly legal?
Yes.
What types of things did you all talk about?
So, shooting dice wasn't technically illegal. We had conversations about the dice game after they was over with.
Was shooting dice the only thing that was not legal that you all discussed that you all did?
Again, that I can recall.
That's the only thing you remember? You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
Do you recall whether members of Rock Crew stole ATM machines?
I'm familiar with the allegations, yes.
How are you familiar with the allegations?
It was like worldwide televised. So, not worldwide, but it was like televised and stuff. I was in juvenile detention facility when those allegations were like being brought about, being talked about. So, yes, I was familiar with it.
Did you ever hear members of Rock Crew talking about it? Your Honor, no, it's not.
All right, let me rule on objection. Objection to overruled, okay? So, yes, you may answer the question. Overruled, sir.
So, I was in juvenile and other people who was coming in fresh from off the street was like mentioning, hey, they're saying that guys from the neighborhood are responsible for these.
That's
I'm not asking you that. I asked you a very, very specific question, so if you would please answer this question I'm asking you. Did you ever hear members of Rock Crew talking about the ATM thefts?
Oh, no.
Never.
Me? No.
Hold on, Mr. Steele. What's the answer?
Tell the judge your answer.
No.
And did you ever discuss the ATM thefts with any members of Rock Crew?
I don't recall.
Did you ever discuss any members of Rock Crew's drug sales? Your Honor, I just.
What's the base for your objection? Let me, what's the base for your objection, sir?
Foundation to time.
I'll sustain this the foundation, okay? You can rephrase, madam, okay?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
What year was it that you recall first being an active or being a member of Rock Crew? You said you were around a certain age. What year was that?
I'll rule that objection.
That means you can answer.
Oh. I had to be in about 6th grade. So whatever, what you about 11 or 12 in the 6th grade?
Would you tell the jury what year you remember first becoming or being a member of Rock Crew?
I'm trying to count. I'm kind of bad with math. That's why I ain't passed the math part of my GED yet.
Let me ask you a different question while you count. Handle them both at the same time. That's okay with you?
No, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. So,
Okay. Do you want to be here today?
do I want to be here today?
Do you want to be here?
No.
I'm gonna overrule the objection, Mr. Matthews.
So I'm sorry, there was an, what was your answer?
No.
Why not?
Because I have a new career path that I'm trying to pursue. I've been filing applications, kind of trying to put all this behind me and move forward. And I paid for my CDL training school out my pocket, so I'm kind of trying to make that money back.
So do you don't mind testifying? then. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. And you don't mind testifying truthfully?
No.
Okay. So, if you would, give us a rough estimate of the year you first joined or were a member of Rock Crew. Were you a member in 2010?
If I was in sixth grade, I'm trying to put what year I was in sixth grade.
How old were you in 2010?
I was trying to do my math.
Don't do the math, let me ask you this. What year were you born?
1993.
1993. So in 2013, was that age about 20? Would you agree?
2013.
Yep. 93, 2003 is
13.
10, 2013 is 20.
20.
Now we back up 3 years from 13, that puts us at 2010, which makes you about 17.
You're going too fast.
I'm so sorry. Just slow it down.
Overruled.
So in 2010, if you're about 17 years old, who's the member of Rock Crew with you during that time?
You just gave me a lot of numbers.
No, just around the age of 17. Who is a member of Rock Crew with you during that time?
My older brothers. The same people I gave you, the same name I gave you.
Okay. And those are still the only ones you remember, even at 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a member of Rock Crew, did you also claim affiliation with the National Blood Gang?
Yes.
How was it that you, and Quentin Porter, what role did he have, if any at all, in your affiliation with the Bloods?
No.
None?
No.
None whatsoever?
No.
Okay. So how then did you become, or were you all affiliated with the Bloods?
How then did I become, or you all, or me?
We can start with you, and then go to other members of Rock Crew.
So when I was in a juvenile facility, gang-related activity was going on all through there.
How do you define gang-related activity? What do you mean by that?
Saying you in the game, hand signs, handshakes.
And is that a way or a means for people to identify themselves as being in a particular gang?
Yes.
What were some of the hand signs that you observed in the juvenile detention center?
Just at the time, because everything was new and we was like so young. I mean, I can explain it. I can show you.
Sure.
You gotta give me a hand.
No, you have You have to show the jury with your hand. I didn't say handshake, I said hand sign. So you have to show the jury with your own hand.
Your Honor, I'm in no way like toying with this judicial system. I'm not trying to like play, just for the record. But yeah.
So show the jury.
I need another hand.
Are you telling the jury right now that you're unable to show hand signs without someone else's hand?
So my initial response was a handshake. I said, there's this handshake because we were so young, that's the only thing that we was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also mentioned hand signs. Do you remember saying that?
But you asked me.
Wait, just let me ask you that. Do you remember saying hand signs?
Yes.
Okay. So did you see hand signs in the juvenile detention center?
It was new. I mean, like, gang and stuff was new back then.
Okay. So finish telling the jury what your definition of gang activity means.
Hand movements.
I'm sorry?
Hand movements, handshakes, colors, being around people who's doing the same handshakes, wearing the same colors and hand movements.
What gang activities did you observe as it relates to particular gangs while you were in the juvenile detention center? I understand my question because I can rephrase.
You want to rephrase?
All right. What gangs did you see activity of while you were in the juvenile detention center?
The one that I was familiar with, the Blood.
What particular blood gang did you see activity of in the juvenile detention center?
Objection, Foundation.
I'll sustain the objection. You can lay a little more foundation, madam.
How did you know that they were bloods?
They were saying it.
Did they say what kind of bloods they were?
Again, gang stuff was like new. I was in juvenile, like it wasn't what it is like then. I mean,
Since you were in juvenile, you were under, where, is it fair to say you were under the age of 17?
nah, because I was sentenced in juvenile that you can see the age of 17.
So you were either 17 or younger.
Nah, I actually could have been older. I could have been 21. Like,
How old were you?
when I first got arrested, I was 11.
Juvenile.
I was 11 when I was first introduced to the juvenile system.
So is this the time frame you're talking about when you're saying it was all new to you?
Yes.
Okay, when you were 11. Thank you. All right. Now let's talk about when you were 17. At 17, did you claim any particular gang besides rock?
I was rock crew. Just rock crew.
Did you claim any affiliation with any blood gangs?
Yes, I claimed, yes.
What blood gang did you claim affiliations?
We were just saying Bloods and Crips.
I'm asking which one? Are you aware of particular blood gangs?
Yes, yes.
Would you tell the jury what blood gangs you are aware of?
Tell the jury which blood gangs I'm aware of. I'm familiar with, I'm aware of SMM.
What is SMM?
It's a blood gang.
I know. Okay. What does it stand for?
Sex, money, murder.
All right. And who is its leader?
I'm not sure.
How are you aware of it?
How am I aware of the name?
Of sex, money, murder.
From hearing about it type stuff. From like hearing about it and stuff.
From hearing about it?
Yeah.
From whom?
Who I heard about it from?
Yes.
So it's not no like particular person that I heard it from. It's like I heard about it though.
you know about sex money murder?
It's a blood game.
Is there anything else that you know about sex money murder?
Not like officially, no.
Did you ever do anything to become a member of sex money murder?
No.
Did you ever publicly claim sex money murder?
I don't recall.
While you were hearing about things like sex money murder, did you ever learn or believe that harm would come to people who did things like falsely claim sex money murder?
Objection, y'all not here today.
I'm gonna overrule that, sir.
What?
That means you can answer.
Oh. One more time, I'm sorry.
While you were hearing things about sex money murder, did you ever hear or come to believe that harm would come to people who falsely claimed sex money murder?
Objection, compound question.
Sustained.
Do you have any knowledge whether harm could come to a person who falsely claimed sex money murder?
No, not personally.
Did you ever hear that harm could come to a person who falsely claimed?
That's it. I'm sustaining that objection.
Your Honor, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted, it's for its impact on him.
Okay, all right. I'll reverse my decision. He can answer that.
Did you ever?
An instruction and that this is not being offered.
Your Honor, I would.
Mr. Harvey, please sit down, sir. I'm gonna overrule your objection, okay? All right.
Did you ever hear that harm could come to a person who falsely claimed sex money murder?
Who said that?
Who said that's an answer?
I don't think anyone.
Mr. Harvey?
I said ask.
Okay, all right, that has been asked and answered, Ms. Love.
Your Honor, he did not answer that particular one. He answered,
Hang on,
something different.
hold on. He has answered that question, ma'am. Yeah.
Did you believe it when you heard it? Did you believe?
Mr. Steele, I'm gonna overrule that objection.
Did you believe it when you heard it?
Say somebody harm me?
That harm could come to a person who falsely claimed sex money murder?
Yes.
Are you aware of any of the hand signs used to proclaim sex money murder?
Yes.
Are you able to perform or to demonstrate any of these hand signs without the use of somebody else's hands?
Yes.
Would you please show the jury one hand sign signifying sex money murder? What does that mean?
Blood.
Okay. And what are you describing? For the court reporter's sake, describe how you just curled your fingers.
Dang. I made a circle at my pointing finger and my thumb, and I made another circle about my middle finger.
And are you familiar with any other signs that signify sex money murder?
Yes.
Would you describe it before you show it? What other signs are you familiar with?
What I described before I show it. A smaller circle.
What else?
And not curling my index finger this time.
Are those the only ones that you're familiar with?
Yes.
Would you show the jury the things that you just described? What is that?
A small, a lowercase b.
And what does that stand for?
Blood.
Okay. And what was the other one that you described? Or was that the only one?
I described a capitalized B.
Okay. Are those the only two hand signs you're familiar with that are related to sex, money, murder?
Yeah, that I can call her.
Ms. Love, before you continue, posit your next question, we've been going a little bit, and it might be appropriate, given the hour at this point, to break for lunch.
Yes, Your
And let the jury also have a period of respite. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, how about some lunch at this point in time? All right, let's do this. It's 12, almost 12:20 at this point in time. Let's recess until 1:30, and just before we leave, as has been indicated by my ad nauseum admonitions, please do not talk about anything that you have heard in the courtroom consistent with the court's admonitions I've given you. If you should go out, leave your notepads in your basket, and unless you have any other inquiry of me, we'll excuse you for lunch and see you back at 1:30, okay? All right, as soon as I count for all of you, we'll go ahead and call you back out, all right? Anything from me? All right, okay? All right, we're gonna be in recess, all right? All rise. What if I think you'll become. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Mr. Stevens, I'm going to release you for lunch. You need to come back at 1:30, sir. Please don't discuss your testimony. Anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? All right. Counsels, I have a request from Ms. Weaver. When you object, let one person object at one time. Let me rule, because if you object in the middle of somebody else's objection, it's very hard for her to take down everyone's thoughts, okay? So, and before the state's done with their objection. See what you're doing? See, that's exactly what I was talking about, Mr.
Court judge. On that issue.
On the issue of what?
On the issue of when or one person to object. If we're all hearing questions being drawn, we all have a requirement and responsibility to our clients to stand up and immediately object. And I agree that we should wait for the court's instruction to be pointed out or singled out in terms of who should now speak. But Your Honor, I don't think I need to wait on Mr. Steele to see if he's going to make an objection, or Mr. Sharp, if I think that something is.
Didn't say anything about that. It's just one at a time, okay? I'm not saying you don't have the right to object.
Okay.
All right, so it's just that, just as a matter of politeness and a way for Ms. Weaver to take down everybody's objections, because one, she got to identify the speaker.
Yes.
And then she's got to go ahead and then attribute that objection to that particular individual. But when multiple people start talking, so if you all have an objection, that's fine. Just wait till one's done, and I'll acknowledge you, and we can go take it from there. Okay? All right. Okay. Unless we have anything else, I'll see you all back at 1:30 for a continuation of this afternoon's festivities. All right? Okay. All right. We're in recess.